I'm a lonely Goomba, stuck between two pipes. Well, guess I'll keep on gaming for the rest of my life. You know, Mario on the Game Boy Advance was pretty rubbish, wasn't it? All they did was basically take the games from All Stars, split them up, and made a few changes, and then sold them at full price. Bro, there wasn't even a new 2D Mario on the entire system. What was all that about? Meanwhile, my boy Sonic over here was getting brand new platform games coming out the wazoo. It was kind of embarrassing for Mario, actually. I mean, you don't see Sega re-releasing existing games and then charging full price for them now, do you? Wait, never mind. But still, let's take a look at Sonic Advance 1, the first brand new 2D Sonic game in nearly a decade at the time. It was a pretty big deal. Well, right off the bat, you can tell this game is gonna have great presentation. You get a little intro showing off the main cast and everything. You know, just in case you didn't know who Sonic was. I just always presumed his name was Bob before this game. Cheers for clearing that up for me. The game itself then, and you can pick from 4 playable characters, but let's be real, who the heck isn't gonna play as Sonic first? A complete maniac, that's who. The game itself, and well, it's 2D Sonic, alright? It's funny, because there's been so many attempts at recapturing the 2D Sonic gameplay since this game, which have never been right. Yet here we are, pretty much perfect on the first try. It's like we're regressing as a species or something. But the thing is, hear me out, I think this might actually play better than the original games. I know, but there's just an extra layer to everything. Like, you can kick, you can grind, you can even do a little air dash. Or, if you kick twice into a combo and then jump, you do a little back jump, which you will literally never use the entire game. But that's not the point. The point is, it builds upon the mechanics whilst keeping the core gameplay intact. That's how it should be done. So yeah, the first stage is basically Green Hill, but on a beach. Before, Green Hill was overused to death and everyone hated it. It looks great, it plays great, the level design is solid, and there's a ton of alternative paths, which is a hallmark of classic Sonic. Really, it's just a solid mixture of speed, platforming, and the occasional cool looking level gimmick. I know I'm praising the game a lot, which might be a shock to some of you, but no man, this is good stuff. On to the first boss, and it's Dr. Eggman. I know, right, I never saw it coming too. Only this time, he's got a big old super slow moving hammer. Clearly the perfect weapon against a character known for their high speed. Dr. Eggman really putting his 300 IQ to good use here. He does eventually go nuts on the last hit, but by then, it's already too late. He dead, and just like the classic games, we rescue the little critters at the end of each zone. Hold up a minute. That is an absolutely tiny gorilla. Holy crap, it's the same size as a bird. Has that gorilla got a calcium deficiency or something? I mean, what is this? On to Zone 2 then. Secret base, and whoa, it couldn't be that secret. It's only the second zone in the game. And again, this presentation. Mwah! I would do a chef's kiss gesture, but I have no arms, so I'll just take my word for it. I suppose this is kind of the chemical plant of the game. Only, instead of annoying goopy stuff, there's a lot of bouncy things. You got bouncy platforms, bouncy trampolines, bouncy, springs. Okay, I mean, there's not that many bouncy things, but there's a lot of new level gimmicks introduced here, which helps make the stage feel unique. You got tubes, hanging things, spinning things, steamy things, and even swinging things. Man, that's a lot of, things. Man, my vocabulary is amazing, isn't it? Eggman's back, by the way, and hold up, bro, this is even worse than the hammer. What's his plan here? Bogo me to death? Really though, you can just cheese this boss like this if you want to. It kinda feels bad. He probably spent years building that thing, and I just destroyed it in a few seconds. Oh well. Zone 3, Casino Paradise. And if by paradise you mean gambling addiction, crippling debt, losing your house to blackjack, becoming homeless, and then you find out your wife is fucking your neighbour the entire time. And oh god, I hate casinos. Oh right, the game. Well, look, okay. It's a casino level. I mean, I think really it's becoming a bit apparent that this game is playing it a bit safe with the zones. I mean, you even got the classic pinball flippers from Sonic 2. Really though, what the fuck has pinball got to do with casinos? I ain't ever seen a pinball table in the casino, like ever. I mean, What, you're betting your life savings on a game of pinball or some shit? I don't get it. The boss here, and well, at least you don't die in 2 seconds this time. On the contrary, you kinda just stand there and slowly wait for him to show up. There's really no better way to do it. You just stand here and hope he comes out in a good spot. It's kinda boring. I don't know how they expected you to play this boss, but I ain't doing it. Next up is Ice Mountain Zone, also known as the zone you quit playing the game as when you was a kid. I mean, it might look like a pretty standard snow stage, but the problem is, most of it is underwater. Man, never mind drowning, Sonic's gonna get hypothermia at this rate. It's around here that one of the biggest flaws of the game starts to become real noticeable. Asshole enemy placement. Come on, how the fuck was I supposed to know there's a shark chilling in that wall? And again, that's some old bullshit, that is. Then you got enemies just slapped all over the place with no time to react. And then you get another shark just for good measure. I mean, what the fuck is this? Have I just got to presume every wall has a shark in it just waiting to bite my face off? Is that it? Alright, wall, show me what you got. Any second now. Any second, a shark is gonna smash out that wall and bite off my face. I just know it. Here we go. Nope. It's not happening. Well, this is kind of awkward. Anyway, really though, what chance did this level have? I mean, ice levels in themselves are usually kind of questionable, but ice and water? That's just sacrilegious. And then there's the boss. I mean, it's a well-designed boss honestly, but the difficulty jump is a bit much. See, you've got to wait for him to attack, and then jump up these falling icicles to hit him, all whilst underwater, meaning you also need to make sure you jump up to get air, or you will die. I remember this boss kicking my ass as a kid, and I know I'm not alone. Joke's on Eggman though, if he just didn't attack Sonic, Sonic would definitely drown. He'd have no way of escaping. What an idiot! 300 IQ my ass. I've started to think maybe those 2 zeros were a typo. Next zone is Angel Island, and this is the zone where all those little problems with the game really just come out at full force. It's like a big old slap to the face. I mean, up to this point, the game has been an absolute blast, even with those bloody sharks. But this level, well, it's a bit of a nosedive. First up, bottomless pits everywhere. Heck, 2 seconds into the second act, and you're thrown right into a death pit. It's a complete beginner's trap. I mean, imagine having the nerve to run forward in a Sonic game. Can't be having that now, can we? Best kill him just to teach him a lesson, I'd say. The developers also seem to think that just shoving spikes in unfair places is a good way to increase the difficulty. There's literally no way of knowing half the time since they won't even pop up till it's too late. I mean, this part here, you jump up, dodge these spikes, and then, if you do dodge those, they put a spring at the end just to shoot you all the way back down to the start. It's downright sadistic. And then there's this, you gotta go down this slide, hit a spring, and miss the platform. Man, I hate this part so much. You don't want to overshoot it and then just run off the platform with your forward momentum. But then, if you pull back, you'll never reach it. I mean, one time I made it, and then I ran off anyway, like an idiot. It's just so twitchy, man. You start overthinking it, it starts messing with your head, I'm telling you. Basically, I don't like this level. It's just constantly punishing you for wanting to have fun. It just feels a bit unfair at times. The boss though, and it's pretty cool. It's not Eggman either for a change. It's Knuckles. Only it looks like he's soaked his gloves in piss. And this is why you should always take your gloves off before taking a piss. Don't end up like Knuckles over here. It's a good fight though. It's a bit like the one in Sonic 3, only... Hold up, Knuckles is a robot? I knew it! What a shocking revelation. Knuckles is actually a robot. After 7 years, we finally find out the truth. He kept that one a secret, didn't he? Man, you think you know a guy, but then it turns out he was a robot the entire time. Man, I'm just glad I'm not secretly a robot. I mean, that would be crazy, right guys? Yeah, wouldn't that be funny?
Insert robot joke here. Scene transition initiated.
Next up, Egg Rocket Zone, and like the rest of the game, it looks absolutely fantastic. It has great music too, but, I mean, I hate to say it, but this level kinda sucks too. Man, these past few stages ain't really been doing it for me. In fact, if you didn't drop the game at the ice boss already, you're definitely gonna drop it now. See, this level is just a maze, and you've got to make your way to the top within the time limit as the stage breaks away. I guess the idea is that you're in a rocket which is taken off. an egg rocket, one might say. The problem is, it just isn't that clear where you're even supposed to go half the time, and there's a ton of traps which will probably just send you flying the wrong way, sometimes off the edge of the stage, losing you a ton of progress. Basically, don't trust any springs or boosters. They are not your friend. If they're not sending you off to your death, they're smacking you right into enemies. I mean, come on. To quote a famous angry video game nerd, what were they thinking? And this level really does just go on and on. It's draining, just like this video. Luckily, there's only one act this time, thank God. And we're on to the final zone of the game, Cosmic Angel. And luckily, it's actually a fun level. It's high energy, it's fast, and it doesn't drag on for what feels like 20 minutes. I like it. It's like a funky disco death egg. Still has your usual old bullshit though. And this part here is ridiculous. Yeah, I guess I'll just use my crystal ball to look into the future and see where all the spikes will be. I mean, what's even the point of this? Just to piss me off? Well, congratulations, because it worked. The boss then, and it's Eggman. I know, I'm shocked too. And alright, this boss is hard, but it's also pretty damn good. In fact, it's probably one of the best designed bosses in 2D Sonic. See, Eggman has finally put his 300 IQ to good use and has put spikes on top of his machine. Genius, he's finally sussed Sonic's weakness, spikes. But we ain't gonna quit that easily. See, the only way to get him is to jump on this chain, causing it to bounce, which, if done right, will flip Eggman upside down, allowing you to get in a hit. But you gotta be fast and precise, otherwise you risk losing all your rings, which just fall straight through the stage this time. You can't even pick them back up, so you've gotta be really careful. There's no spamming to win here. It's pretty tense. But at the end, Eggman's shooting shit all over the place and moving back and forth like a madman. The Doctor means business this time. Heck, it's even got its own special boss music. That's how you know it's serious. And now, onto the final zone, X Zone. You know what? I think I've been to X Zone before actually, but it didn't look like this. It was just a bunch of porn DVDs. Anyway, the zone, and wow. It's the ball and chain from Sonic 1. It's funny because back then, before Sega ran Sonic nostalgia into the ground, this was a super cool callback. But playing it now, it's kinda overdone. You also fight the first boss from Sonic 2. I mean, these two bosses really do make the game feel like a continuation of the classic games. I mean, I know it's been said like 100 times before, but this really does feel like the true Sonic 4. More so than, well, whatever the heck that was. So after beating those, we're on to the final boss. And it's not great. I mean, visually it looks dumb, and gameplay wise, well, you just stand around waiting for an opening to attack, which is entirely random. He does have a few attacks though, and some of them are harder to dodge than others. Heck, if you're lucky, sometimes he won't even attack at all and just fly across, giving you a free hit. But most of the time you've got to dodge his attacks while sneaking in a hit at the same time, which is easier said than done. But yeah, I don't really like this boss though. There's just too much standing around waiting for an opening. Really, you'll probably only die if you get impatient and start rushing it. Although, if you're feeling lucky, you can always try to spam him in the corner and hope for the best. The tried and true method. And that's it. A super underwhelming and slightly confusing finale, really. And Sonic falls down, Tails rescues him on a plane, and that's it. It's very simple stuff, but, well, it looks nice, and it even gets some artwork. Well, a single screen, but still. The credits play, and then, hey, go collect all the Chaos Emeralds. For what? There's Chaos Emeralds in this game? I didn't see a single one. What the fuck? For real though, there's a pretty good chance you'll finish the entire game without seeing a single Chaos Emerald. They really hit these buggers well this time. But before we worry about that, I'm gonna finish the game with every character, because I have literally nothing better to do with my life. And who knows, might even get some Chaos Emeralds along the way. First up, Tails, who is pretty much exactly the same as Sonic, but he can fly and swim. The only real downside is that he can't grind on rails, but let's be real, I forgot that was even a thing. I'm pretty sure there's only like 3 grind rails in the entire game. Heck, you can basically just fly over most of the level if you really want. So let's be honest here, Tails is basically the easy mode of the game. It makes some bosses way easier than before too. Remember this bugger? Well, now you can just swim up to the top, cheese it, and kill him in a few seconds. It's almost therapeutic. That'll teach you for making me get good at the game. Anyway, after beating the game again with Tails and getting an ever so slightly different ending, we're on to Knuckles, who honestly is probably the least interesting character in the game, sadly. He's pretty much what you'd expect if you played the other Sonic games. He can glide, he can climb, and he can punch. Which again, you probably won't use that much. But honestly, the levels don't seem particularly built with climbing in mind. And as far as I can tell, there aren't really any alternative paths made specifically for Knuckles like in Sonic 3. I mean, you can sort of explore a bit, but Tails kinda got that covered, so oh well, he's still better than Sonic I suppose. The thing is though, even though Knuckles doesn't drastically change the game or anything, it doesn't even matter because the levels have so many different routes and stuff. They still feel pretty new. I mean, I'm on my third playthrough in a single sitting, and it still feels pretty fresh, which I guess is a testament to how fun this game can be. You know, flaws aside. And besides, it's worth it just to see Knuckles versus Mecha Knuckles. See, I knew Knuckles wasn't really a robot, it was a fake. I never doubted you, Knuckles. And to think you thought Knuckles was actually a robot this entire time. Tut, tut, tut. I think you owe Knuckles an apology. Next up is Amy. And man, they basically completely changed the game here. And I kinda love it. Amy is basically the hard mode of the game. Heck, you can't even jump at enemies. You can't spin dash, you can't do shit. So much for girl power and all that. The thing is, what Amy lacks in natural ability, she makes up by having a giant hammer. So, instead of jumping into enemies like some kind of primitive caveman, you've got to jump and then time your hammer attack perfectly. Heck, you can even use your hammer to do an extra high jump. Basically, it's all about the hammer, but it works. I'd go as far to say that Amy is probably the best alternative character just because it completely changes up how the entire game is played. So yeah, we beat the game with all 4 characters and we still ain't got the Chaos Emeralds. Just how do you get these buggers? Well, the thing is right, throughout the game are a bunch of giant springs which lead to a special stage. But man, they're super hidden. I mean, you might find 1 or 2 whilst playing through the game, but you ain't gonna find many. Especially as Sonic. I'm sorry Sonic, but you just suck at finding emeralds. Really, the only way I've ever found these springs consistently is by playing as Tails. You basically just play as Tails and explore every inch of every level, hoping you'll find a spring. Hopefully by the time you play the game with every character, you'll probably get a pretty good gist of where they're at, and you might have even found some already too. So it's not too bad. I mean, it can even be quite rewarding at times. So after finding the spring, you're boosted away into one of the special stages. And well, these aren't too bad, but there's a bit of a learning curve, mostly because the game doesn't explain shit. You're just left on your own to figure it out. Basically, you're falling down a tube and you gotta collect rings. Simple enough. And sometimes you'll see these golden wall things, which give you rings if you time a trick whilst crossing it. But good luck with that, because it seems next to impossible to actually get it to work. I mean, really, the main problem with these stages is the perspective. Trying to do a 3D space with precision movement just doesn't work that well on a 2D game. I mean, really, it's just a bit of trial and error, and learning the best methods to actually hitting the rings. But once you finally get it down, you'll be blasting through these in no time. And even if you do fail, the spring stays in the same spot every time. So if you do mess up, you can just quickly replay the act to find the spring again. I mean, it doesn't take too long, but a retry button would have been nice. Especially on the final stage. I mean, that one can suck a dick. So we get over Chaos Emeralds and beat the final boss again. Only this time, Eggman escapes to the moon, and Sonic turns into Super Sonic and gives chase. And just like that, we're on to the final stage of the Moon Zone. Ooh, exciting. I remember this boss being super epic as a kid, but playing it now, it's kinda lame. I mean, it's just so easy. I'm not even sure how you're supposed to die. You just keep dashing into him whilst collecting rings from these capsules, and he's dead in less than a minute. I get the idea of racing against time as your rings slowly deplete, but it's just so easy getting rings. And the boss itself barely even does anything to slow you down. I mean, it's just such an anti-climax, honestly, especially considering how difficult it was to even get here. I reckon that hammer boss probably gave people more trouble. I'm not even joking. Still, we get a nice special ending with lots of animations and original sprite work, and even a little callback to the Sonic 2 ending. It's not a bad ending. And that's Sonic Advance. Is it as good as the classic games? Well, I mean, honestly, I might get some flack for this, but I think I enjoy it more than Sonic 1 and Sonic CD at least. So yeah, I think it is a worthy successor to the classic games. It ain't perfect, the level design is borderline shit at times, the music is pretty forgettable, and it plays it a bit too safe. But overall, somehow, it's still a great game. I mean, it's so good in fact, that I think it's earned a spot on my brand new Wall of Fame. Enjoy it, Sonic. You've earned it. Ah, yes. Shark! I knew that was gonna happen. I told you. And the patron of the week is Loser Quest Show, who has helped me edit videos for years now, and he donates to Patreon too. I mean, what an absolute legend. For real, I probably wouldn't still be making videos if it wasn't for him. Kudos for that, mate. Round of applause for Loser Quest Show, please.